What is going on, guys? My name is Brandon and welcome back to the channel. Yes, I apologise. I do the kill right now and Saudil. I apologise. But today we're going to react to the most incredible discoveries found in ice. Something different, something that is not in the sea. And also from a different channel, because as we know, I've been doing a lot from the same channel recently, and I thought it'd be a good change up. So let's see what these people are saying, or this channel in general.
Number 10. The Antarctic King.
Okay.
Paleontologists uncovered the fossilized remains of a
Straight into it.
reptilian monster in Antarctica. Although the continent may be covered in ice today, virtually uninhabitable and as inhospitable as it gets, that wasn't always the case.
Okay.
250 million years ago,
Right.
Antarctica was covered in lush forests. It had flowing rivers and was absolutely crawling with bizarre life forms. Temperatures almost never fell below freezing, and most of the year Antarctica was as warm as any jungle today.
This is
It
so
was during that warm
anticlimactic.
period Antarcticanax Shackletoni roamed the land, feasting on gigantic
The what?
insects and other creatures.
I'm sorry, the what? Antarctic Charlotte. Apparently, this thing, apparently. Is that even a thing? That must be made up. 100%. That must be made up. There's no way that's a thing.
Scientists
That's
have
gonna be made
nicknamed
up.
the monster the Antarctic King.
Right.
And although it was indeed a reptilian beast, it wasn't very large. It was only about the size of an iguana, yet it was an early relative of both dinosaurs and crocodiles.
Okay.
Scientists were able to determine a lot from the single fossil excavated from the ice.
Okay, so it's
They
a fossil
knew it was
thing.
a carnivore. It likely hunted bugs and may have also eaten early mammal relatives. But that's not the strangest part.
Right.
According to Brandon P. Cook from the
Oh, it's
Field
me.
Museum, the more we learn about prehistoric Antarctica, the weirder things get.
That
The
is true.
discovery
True.
of this reptile has shown just how extraordinary life in Antarctica used to be.
Okay.
About 2 million years before the Antarctic King evolved, there was a huge extinction event that killed about 90% of life on Earth.
All right.
Yet for some reason, species that died out across the rest of the globe remained alive in Antarctica.
Okay.
Number 9. Child warrior mummy.
That was one. Jesus
In the
Christ.
Siberian Arctic, researchers uncovered the
Warrior mummy.
mysterious grave of a mummified child warrior. The young boy was between 6 and
Ugh.
7 years old when they perished.
Damn.
They were buried in a bundle of reindeer hide and fur, protected by a small bronze axe, perfectly sculpted to be wielded by a child. He was
Okay.
also buried with a special pendant crafted in the shape of a wild bear. This shocking
Right.
discovery was made at the mysterious and little-known
It's a very dramatic
Zeleny
video, by
Yar
the way.
necropolis. Scientists have found other burials here, but this is the first one belonging to a child. The deceased was cocooned within a wrapping of birch bark and copper, which accidentally helped to create a mummy. Researchers also believed whoever the youngster was, they were likely part of the higher echelon of society. Unfortunately, we still don't have a clear picture of what's going on with this mystery
That's
child.
not good then.
Archaeologist Natalia Fyodorova says the team is hoping to reveal more details soon.
Oh,
All
okay.
we
Interesting.
really know is that the child belonged to an ancient tribe that lived in the frigid wastelands of Siberia about 800 years ago.
There was a lot of ancient tribes like back in the day, like Indian burial grounds, and then like there's so many like even where I live, like I'm literally like in like, a big like massive forest next to me, and that was a place where massacres, wars happened. It's like, is this crazy? Like what used to be around before we decided to dominate the land with freaking building sites and everything. So yeah, this would not surprise me. Like you would find this, it would not surprise me. There was hundreds of thousands of different tribes going about in the day.
8. The glowing snailfish.
The what
Scientists
fish?
recently discovered one of the most bizarre species of fish ever, underneath an iceberg in Greenland.
So much for not getting sharks, eh? Or fishes in general. So much for no undersea ones.
Iceberg off the coast of Greenland, only to encounter a glowing green snailfish.
Glowing green
The
snailfish.
reason the
then.
snailfish was glowing green was that it
That's
had
new.
antifreeze
That is
coursing
very new.
through its veins. That's the same stuff you put in your car to stop your engine from freezing in the winter. Researchers
Alright.
were positively thrilled to encounter such a strange animal. They soon learned the fish is a species called Leparis gibbus, and that it contains the highest levels of antifreeze proteins ever seen in a fish.
That's
And
cool.
yes, it works almost identically to the way a car uses it. The fish seems to have evolved specialized systems to push antifreeze through its veins, preventing it from freezing to death in the polar winters. The way it works is that antifreeze proteins get stuck to tiny ice crystals and prevent them from growing. David
Right.
Gruber, a biology professor, says fish around the North Pole and the South Pole have independently evolved these antifreeze proteins to survive
What is
in
that
their
for,
harsh
fish?
environments. Sadly, scientists are
Guess I'll
unsure
identify
how
that
this
one.
unique evolutionary feature will affect the snailfish as sea temperatures get warmer. As the Arctic warms, the fish will have less use for its unique biology and
Right.
could go extinct as a result.
That's
Number
cool.
7.
That is cool.
Melting Base Camp. Everest Base
Ooh.
Camp is currently in the process of melting. In late 2022, the thawing of the
That's
Khumbu Glacier
recent as
became
well.
such a problem that Nepal was forced to make plans to pack up and move the base camp. Scott Watson, an expert on glaciers from the University of Leeds, says climate change is responsible for increased rockfalls, meltwater movement
I didn't know
on the
there was a
surface
base
of
camp
the
there.
glaciers, and the total destabilization of one of the most famous mountain camps in the world.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Even if you don't want to climb Mount Everest, you can climb to the base camp to gaze up at the mightiest mountain on the planet.
Am I dumb, or I just never knew you do base camp up there? I don't know if I would do Would I do Mount Everest? I don't know. It's never really occurred to me on my bucket list. It's never really occurred to me. Would I do that? Probably not. You know, if I got offered to do it, I probably would do it. If the opportunity is there, like in front of me, yeah, I'll be one of those people. Fuck it, let's do it. But it's just not really occurred to me to be on my bucket list. But yeah, fair enough. I didn't know that was a base camp.
Cracks appeared overnight. Avalanches happened unexpectedly, and so the base must be moved 1,200 feet lower to a spot where there is no year-round ice. But climate change isn't the
Fair
only
enough,
thing
safe,
responsible
so.
for the movement of base camp. Yes, the ice is melting, and soon the Khumbu Glacier will be gone. But there are other problems as
sense.
well, such as urine.
Ew.
It was found that there are so many visitors to base camp every day that about 4,000 liters of urine ends up flowing down the mountain.
Jesus Christ.
There are also issues
Grim.
higher up on the mountain. Ice that took many hundreds of years to accumulate is gone. The climb has become more dangerous. The
Oh,
melting
God.
ice has also revealed dozens of frozen dead bodies
Ew.
and enough
Jesus.
garbage to make a garbage dump.
Okay, never mind. I take it back. I would not go up there. I wouldn't go up there.
Number 6. Colonizing Mars. Scientists
Mars?
have made a shocking ice discovery on another planet. The recent
Ice on
discovery of
Mars?
accessible ice sheets on Mars could help future colonization of the red planet. Researchers working with NASA were looking through images taken by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter when they found ice sheets exposed on the Martian
Oh, mad.
surface. These sheets appear to be pure and easy to access. It's a big deal because if there are huge chunks of ice sticking out from the surface, that would mean early colonizers to Mars would have fresh,
That
and
is-
almost
that is true, actually,
limitless
yeah.
drinking water.
That's cool.
NASA has known about subsurface
very
ice
cool.
on Mars for a long time. We know there are huge ice deposits on its poles, left over from when Mars was likely covered in great oceans, like
Yeah.
the ones we have on Earth. But these newly discovered ice sheets are much different. They seem to be scattered across the Martian surface and even sticking out of mountain slopes 300 feet above ground. Just imagine gigantic ice cubes that could be extracted and melted for healthy, natural, non-polluted drinking water.
I'm just not sure. Like, I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around this. It's like, is this all actually true, or is this all actually made up? I just can't wrap my head around it. I've like other videos, yeah, I've said, okay, fair enough, that could be true, but this one's like, I don't know, it just seems too much, if that makes sense. I just don't know if I can wrap my head around this, to be honest. I don't know, this is going to be a long debatable one. You guys have to let me know in the comments below. It's going to be a long debatable one.
Trendy sandals. A pair
Trendy
of trendy
sandals.
sandals from the Roman era were recently found on an ice pass in Norway. A group of Norwegian archaeologists were searching the melting glaciers and
That's an odd
thinning
one.
ice patches in the rural mountains of the country when they came across the pair of sandals. They were buried deep in the snow, hidden at the bottom of what was once a dangerous mountain route. The discovery happened in the Jotunheim Mountains, 200 miles from Oslo. The mountain pass was commonly used by the Vikings between the years 300
okay.
and 1500 AD. This was long before any paved roads were constructed in Norway.
Fair enough,
Viking
fair enough.
merchants and other medieval travelers
This one don't sound
moved through
bizarre.
the mountain
See, this
pass
one
to get
does not
from
sound
one side of
bizarre.
the
It's
country to
sandals.
the other. And this was no easy trip. Some parts of the pass are 6,600 feet above sea level. During
Right.
their travels, Many vendors and wayward wanderers lost personal objects, for example, a pair of shoes.
Right.
Their objects were then covered in snow and encased within the ice. But starting in 2011, the ice patches started to melt, and ever since, archaeologists have been finding treasure.
That's cool.
These sandals have proven particularly interesting because they were not at all designed for the cold. After all, you wouldn't wear a pair of flip-flops to hike through the snowy mountains of Norway. These sandals were designed with holes and gaps all over them, and would have been more appropriately worn in the south of Italy. Nonetheless, they were found in the Finnish mountains, buried in the snow.
See, that one did not sound bizarre. That one sounded more realistic. Like, when you have a look at the other ones with, like, I don't know, the prehistoric creature and, like, the glowing fish. This one, and also the mountain base, they did not sound bizarre, which is why I feel like they're more believable and you can wrap your head around. Like, old sandals from, like, probably used by a Viking or maybe something else, we don't know. But that sounds actually more realistic and less bizarre, which is what I would believe more.
Mysterious fungi. A rather unusual discovery.
There's a lot of
was
fungi
made in
about,
the
to be
Scottish
honest, so...
Highlands. Researchers were examining soil samples in
There's
search
loads
of
of fungi.
A team of volunteers hiked through the Cairngorms National Park in 2021 and collected samples from high up in the snowy mountains. They
A lot of
found
snowy
multiple
mountains in this
species
one,
of
then.
fungi totally new to the UK, along with one particularly mysterious fungus not known to science. You might not
Nice,
think
that's cool.
so, but the mountains in Scotland are responsible for storing
Scotland,
an
that's not even
estimated
far as well.
1/3 of the land carbon on the planet. This is due to their regenerative peat bogs. The whole area is a blanket of moss and peat and fungi, but not much of this fungi has been studied because the highlands are remote, cold, and everything is covered in ice and snow. Andrea Britton says fungi are important for the functioning of alpine ecosystems. But we know almost nothing about the diversity of it because so much of it is hidden underground or frozen under permafrost. They also uncovered a rare violet coral fungus that's
cool.
critical to grassland ecosystems.
Also fake.
Number
It does look
3,
fake.
the Octavius. In 1761, the
London.
Octavius was docked in London, England. It
That's
was loaded up
Octavius.
with cargo and sailed for China. When the ship took off, it had a full crew and everything seemed to be up to code. The Octavius was in good shape, the men were in good spirits, and they made it to China without incident. But then something strange happened. It was on its way back
So it
to
sunk?
British shores when the captain got a really bad idea. He decided he would push the ship through the Northwest Passage to get home sooner, even though that meant potentially getting stuck in the ice.
Yeah, that was a
The
stupid move.
Octavius never made
That was
it
a very
back to
stupid move.
Britain. It wasn't seen again until October 11th, 1775.
Oh, mad.
A whaling ship by the name of Herald spotted the Octavius off the coast of Greenland. The captain and the crew boarded the ship to see what they could find, but it appeared deserted. It wasn't until they
That's
broke
quite cool,
into
then.
the darkness of the ship's hull that they found the 28 crew members frozen solid in blocks of
Oh,
ice.
Jesus Christ.
They then found the captain
Imagine
seated at
seeing
his
that.
desk, his pen frozen in his hand, and the ship's logbook frozen on the desk before him.
That's quite mad, you know. That is actually quite mad. There's also a lot of unsure scientists in this one, which is fair enough. Like, it's hard to, like, find these kind of things, which actually makes it, funny enough, more realistic to actually believe in. But imagine seeing a whole crew of frozen, like, dead crew. That's actually mad to say. But that was the captain's fault. Like, why would you drive in ice in the first place? Just why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? You knew that was a stupid move.
Number 2, sunken truck. An international team of scientists
truck.
recently put their expertise together to recover a very unusual object from the frigid Arctic waters.
Right?
They used specialized divers, airbags, and a helicopter to retrieve a submerged Ford 150 truck
Oh,
that
mad.
fell through the ice in early 2022. It happened near the Tasmania Islands in the Canadian territory of Nunavut, which is one of the most isolated places in the world you can visit. Divers traveled all the way to the frigid north from Iceland. They dove underneath the ice, then attached airbags to the truck and towed it to shore. They then
That was
attached
clever.
the F-150 to a helicopter
No
and
way.
airlifted it to
There's surely
Joa Haven.
not.
Team member Andrew
Surely not, they didn't do
Clark
that.
called the recovery a tremendous success. But why did so many people go through so much trouble to pull up a pickup truck?
I was about
out
to
of the
say, that's a
water
lot of
after it
trouble.
Smashed through the ice. The vehicle was originally part of something called the Trans-Global Car Expedition. A team of 16 people from various countries completed a massive journey overland from Yellowknife to Resolute across the Canadian territories. The whole journey was about 1,300 miles. It was the very first overland crossing using trucks from the continental shelf of Canada all the way to the high Arctic.
Mate, I would not go through that. That's just too much effort. Why would you go through that much effort for a truck? It just doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? Yeah, that seemed way too much. I would not even bother. Imagine, like, you're just there, like, chilling, just minding your business, going shopping, and you see this, like, massive helicopter come across with its, like, with a Ford underneath it. Imagine seeing that. That's just weird. Damn.
Number 1.
Right.
The next pandemic.
Big one.
The next global pandemic might just be waiting in the Arctic ice. Researchers recently sequenced segments of DNA and RNA taken from the soil in the Arctic Circle near Lake Hazen. What the scientists were hoping to do was identify potential viruses hiding beneath the ice in the Arctic soil. They used a computer algorithm to look at the viruses and potential hosts in the area, assessing spillover risk. What this means is the ability for any potential frozen viruses to be picked up by a carrier and then spread to humans. For example, spillover risk would be a virus melting out of a glacier, being picked up by a deer, and then being transferred to a person. They did not identify any immediate concerns. However, they did suggest that glacier runoff will lead to a greater chance of viruses jumping onto hosts, which thereby increases spillover risk. They learned that as the ice in the Arctic melts, it releases viruses and organic material that gets washed out into lakes and rivers. This increases the potential that an organism becomes infected and then reaches humanity.
Oh no. We are fucked. We are fucked again. We got another new virus gonna come and hit us from the ice. Literally, like, and the world is 7% water. That's it. It's over. Mankind is over. We're all gonna get frozen. That's what's gonna happen. We're all gonna catch the virus, and we're gonna get, I don't know, our inside's gonna get frozen, and then we are dead, or just like stand there frozen. Tell you what, that's a banning thumbnail for me right there. That's a banning thumbnail, mate. A new virus, mate. Oh, no. But no, it just seems a bit outrageous. Surely that will be like, on the news right by now. Surely that would have been on the news if that was actually true. I don't know. It just seemed too bizarre. Like, I'm pretty sure that would have hit the news already. But if not, I'm the originator. I'm the first one to find it. I mean, I'm already looking like I'm in the dust already. I'm already looking like I'm dying. Get your masks on, lads. Everyone get your masks back on right now. Stay protected.